Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cupid Bridge's Hot Topics. I'm Justin, and today's topic, we're going to talk about responding to an email that you get from a man. Responding to an email is a very large topic. There's a lot to be said about how to respond. You could talk about who you should respond to if you have lots of emails, when to be funny, when to be serious, and the tone of your email. We could talk about how long the response should be. There's a lot of different things we could talk about. But I think the most important thing to remember when responding to an email is to think about how you would respond in real life. You meet someone in a bar, or on the street, or in a recreational area, and you're talking back and forth. This kind of conversation is natural, it's fluid, it's got some jokes, it's got some seriousness. You talk a little bit about yourself, you ask questions, and you invite the other person to talk about himself. You flirt a little bit. You try to be a little bit sexy if you're interested in him. These are all different things you would do in real life. So in your emails, you do the same thing. You try to be natural, and you invite a response from the man by asking questions. You talk about yourself. There's a way that your email should be written should match real life. So I think the other key to remember is the point of your email, the purpose of your email. And that purpose is to create a connection, create a tug, create a drawing from the heart. In other words, you want that man to leave the conversation with you with a feeling that they don't want to leave, a feeling that they are excited about talking to you. And there's a connection between the two of you that is breaking a little bit when they stop talking to you and close the computer or go away. That means that they will remember you, and it means that you are memorable. Think about the best movies that you've watched, films that you've watched. They generally have one of two characteristics that make them a very good movie. One is either it's very funny and entertaining, or two, it is dramatic and memorable. It makes you have emotion. Sometimes it makes you cry, sometimes it just makes you think, but somehow it's memorable in some way. So these two aspects of humor and sincerity are the key hallmarks of a great movie. And likewise, these are the hallmarks of a great email between you and a man, a great conversation. You want either to be funny and serious or have a mixture of the two. I think the other thing that I want to mention is about responding to emails is that doesn't matter how short or how long it is necessarily. I mean, it shouldn't be too short or too long, but the size of the email is not as important as the focus. I hear a lot of stories from women and even some men that say, I just received an email that is all over the place. They're talking about 5 or 6 different things. The key to a good email is to have a focus on 1 or 2 things and really develop those ideas. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, look through the man's profile or read his email to you and focus on 1 or 2 things that you see and talk about it. So if the man says that he is excited about cooking, it's just one thing, then talk about that a little bit. Talk about how you are interested in the fact that he likes to cook. Ask him what kinds of things he likes to cook, and then do what most emails don't do and say something about yourself that relates to the cooking. So he likes to cook. Say, I tried cooking one time. It was a disaster. I bought all kinds of pans and pots. I tried to put the ingredients together for the cake, and when it came out of the oven, it was burnt and black. The smoke caused a fire alarm to go off in my apartment, and I had to call the police department to tell them not to come. It was a disaster. And that's funny. They will he will remember that story, and most importantly, there will be a connection between his love of cooking and your story about cooking. And he will always remember that, and you will remember that. This commonality between the two of you is the connection, that will be the start of a great relationship. So many times people read an email that is from a man or a man from a woman, and they leave the email with really nothing to show for it. There's no interest generated from that email, because they might have said, hey, hi, how are you? I really liked your profile. I'm interested in learning more about you. I do this, this, and this for a job. I'm hoping to hear back from you. Okay, so nothing was said in that email. There was nothing special about it. There was no way to connect between the two of you. And when that man goes to the next email, he will just say, he'll forget all about you, what you just wrote, because there's nothing linking the two of you. But remember the last email we just talked about. If the man will see that you took an active interest in his own hobbies, he sees that you are interested in what he has to say, and any man or woman feels excited when someone shows an interest in their own life. Then he'll remember you, not because of your picture, not because of your name, or anything other than the fact that you have something in common with them. He will know that you and him both had an experience with cooking, no matter that yours was the bad one and his is the good one. The last thing that I would mention about emails is two things, actually. First is always keep your emails positive. Don't say, well, gosh, I'm really happy I saw your email, because the last 5 emails I read were from men who were just looking for a fling, or they were very boring, and I'm really happy to talk to you. No, keep it positive. Remember, in a real conversation, you would keep it positive. You would laugh. You would be exciting. The second thing is always end your email with what we call a call to action. A call to action is simply a request to keep the emails going. Now, what does that mean? That you could either say, tell me about the time that you went up the mountain that I saw in your profile picture. Maybe it's a picture of himself climbing a mountain. Tell me about that time you were climbing that mountain. Or, I hope you will email me again tell me more about your family. Or, if you want to be a little more challenging, you could joke, or you could kind of tease him and say something like, I really enjoyed our communication. I can't wait to talk to you again. I'm holding my breath until your next email. Don't wait too long. I might die from not being able to breathe. And it's a kind of a funny way of saying, don't wait too long to respond back, because I'm holding my breath. So this is kind of a funny thing, and it challenges the man to write to you. So in closing, responding to emails, you should think about how you would communicate in real life. The point is to be either kind of funny or serious or sincere. These are the 2 hallmarks of a great movie. You want to create a connection, and most connections are developed from having a shared common interests, because you feel like you have something in common with the other person. Focus your emails on 1 or 2 things. Don't go all over the place. Quality and content is better than just writing a lot of things. And finally, end your email with a call to action. Ask him a question, invite him to respond to you, or make a joke about how you want him to talk to you again. These are all things that if you do them, he will remember you, and he will follow up, and this will be the start of a wonderful relationship between you and this man. All right, I hope that was helpful. We'll talk a little bit more about responding to emails in the next and some other videos that we present in the future, but I hope this was helpful as a starting point. All right, until next time, 再见.